All right, going back to Natalie, you said that a guy asked you on a date, told you that you post and wear, what you post and wear, what?
You want me to just explain? Okay.
Yep. Short, please.
So basically, this is, I think, second date with the guy, and we were at a mall, and I said like something like, "Oh, I have that shirt or something." He's like, "You wear that?" Yes, it was a tank top, by the way. It wasn't anything very revealing. And he's like, "You wear that?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "I wouldn't let you out like that." Okay, like, why are you out with me then? And then continued to proceed to tell me that he doesn't like what I post on Instagram or what I wear, but asked me out on a date. So I just feel like it's a little contradictory. Yeah. Also was obsessed with his ex, but...
Ooh. Just red flag after red flag.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong there, to be honest.
The obsession with the ex, that's kind of...
Yeah, he would like talk about how he did nothing wrong in this scenario with the ex and like show me receipts, and this was our like second date.
Oh yeah, he was not.
Well, okay, we got to do these one at a time. So you were on a date with a guy,
Yeah.
and you were wearing an outfit. You were wearing the outfit, or you were...
No. We were at a mall, and I said like, "Oh, I have that top." It was literally just a tank top. It was like probably very similar to what I'm wearing right now, just like cut off. He was like, "I wouldn't let you wear that."
If you guys were in a relationship.
I mean, I'm assuming that's what he meant.
Well, can I ask you a question? So if
Yeah.
would you attempt to prevent your boyfriend from wearing skin-tight jean shorts?
I feel like yes, because that's very unattractive.
That would be embarrassing more than anything else.
Right, but couldn't that apply to your situation?
But I think his concern was it being attractive.
Well,
Like
okay,
it being appealing to other guys, I think was his
Like
concern. Not it being,
risque?
yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he was alluding to the fact that he thought I was a slut or something.
Right.
Well, I mean, so you were on the second date,
Quite
right?
the icebreaker.
Second date, yeah.
Well, I mean, so prior to dating, you had these photos on your Instagram.
What do you mean?
I don't know. You had.
I didn't date him. I did not date him.
Well, you
or
went on
like
two
I went on
dates.
dates, but I didn't like. He was not my boyfriend.
Right. So he's trying to establish very early on what his boundaries were.
Yeah.
Right.
Sure.
So prior to dating, I suppose he had no problem or absolutely no authority to say, you were engaging in what he considered a single behavior. But assuming the relationship developed to the point where you guys were actually in a relationship, once you started dating, he wanted you to act in a way more commensurate with and more consistent with being in a relationship. And most women have no male guidance when it comes to this at all.
I think that's fine if we were in a relationship, but I feel like that's we.
Right, but then women will also argue, well, if it was such an issue, you should have told me sooner. You should have told me up front.
Well, I agree, but that's why I partially ended it. Besides him being obsessed with his ex, I just wasn't comfortable. I think that to an extent, if I'm going out and going to parties and wearing something that's like very risque for male attention, and I'm in a relationship, I don't think that's right. But if
for
it's
you to do.
For me to do.
Okay.
I don't agree with that. But like I feel like the shirt would need to be shown for it to like for an example, because it was just something that was very like not anything that I think like anybody would really at this table oppose to or call like over sexual or something like that, or risque even. I think it was very normal top, which is where I kind of had the problem amongst other problems that I had with him. But that one just was kind of laughable.
Now he said he like opened with this.
Yeah, we were in the mall, and I'm like, I have that
then
top.
It worked. You went on 2 dates with him. It worked.
No, I think she was on.
My
on the
point,
second date.
This was
I was
date
on
number
the
two.
second
Oh,
date.
you were on the second
and
date.
the thing
Okay.
with the bigger part was with me is, I said to him, I was like, I post this stuff. He found me through Instagram, like through mutual friends. You saw my Instagram, you liked it, so it obviously worked.
Right.
Like, what's the?
Okay, so again though, prior to dating, he had no problem with you engaging in that sort of behavior. But now that he met you on a second date, he probably wanted to see things further along. He was starting to lay out his boundaries for what he considered acceptable behavior from a potential girlfriend.
Sure, I feel like there's just better ways to go about it than being like.
Well, men are blunt communicators.
Yeah.
I mean, I think
Sure.
he sounds insecure, you know,
How
and
is it
especially.
That's what I think.
I mean, I think
I
it
kind of
sounds
agree.
insecure because
I
it's like, especially if like she's saying that it was similar to this
It
top.
was very
like,
modest. It wasn't. I don't go out wearing things that are like outrageous. Like I don't. And I just think that
Well, we
It
don't
was-
know what it, is there a photo of it somewhere on
I could-
Instagram?
I
or
could- yeah, I
something?
think it's on my Instagram.
Similar to what
It
she's
was
wearing
like
now.
a basic Urban Outfitters.
Yeah, it
like
was-
just think of a tank top.
it was a tank top.
I always
Okay.
find this idea odd of insecurity, though.
I think it's insecure in the sense that, not insecure, but I think it's a lack of trust that you have in
Lack of trust.
your, say, potential girlfriend, that you think that I would be going out and wearing these things to attract other men.
Yeah, but when I think of insecurity, I would think the opposite. I would think that saying upfront what it is that you want or don't want would be a sign of security, not a sign of insecurity.
I think it just
The
wasn't.
sign of insecurity to me would be like, I want to tell you this preference or this thing, but I'm going to be passive aggressive, or I'm just going to lead hints or things like that. That would lead me more towards the thought of insecurity versus here's what I want and here's why I want it. That sounds like somebody who's secure in what their preferences
Well,
are.
what about
think the
brooding over
way-
your ex-girlfriend?
I
Like
just
that's
think
Well, now,
insecure.
hang on. Again, we're going to untangle the two ideas. Totally agree with you on the obsession of the ex-girlfriend thing. Red flag, I'd get the fuck away from that.
Yeah.
But on the idea of moderate dress, to Brian's point, I don't think that could be insecurity. That seems like a secure person would say
I
that.
think
Split.
it's more of like the way that it was said and like the other comments that have been made, I think is like kind of the thing that we're missing here, where it was like, you dress that way for male attention, which
Did you?
no, not at all. Like if you, I feel like it's hard to explain without seeing the top in question, but like,
But
it's
was he-
no
was
different
he-
to what I'm wearing right now.
Was he kind of saying that in the context of the entirety of your social media?
It was like kind of two separate conversations where I started it with like I don't wear that for male validation, blah 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 blah, and he was saying that like the stuff that I've had on my Instagram is like, you're telling me that's not for male validation. It wasn't in my head for male validation. I think that's kind of where I had the issue with it.
I see.
Where it's saying that he thinks that I'm only posting this stuff
Private.
and stuff like that for male validation.
Gotcha.
Where in my head, it's like a lot of the stuff I post, especially after losing so much weight, it's like I'm really confident in how I look now, and I'm proud of how far I've come. Let me show.
Well, we'll
show
pull
that
up your Instagram.
But I mean, that's
then.
for validation, though, right? That would be
But not
that
by
would be
men,
definitionally
not by
validation.
men, not like not in like a sexual way. Just being like, I'm proud of how far I've come. I'm proud of what I look like. I'm gonna show it off.
But not in a sexual way.
No,
Here, pull
Not
it
in a
up.
way that would bring sexual attention. Really?
Okay. Scroll down a little bit, slow, please.
This is for you women out there.
This is
It
all right.
has
This is
nothing
her
to do with
Instagram.
men at all.
I can show you the top
Scroll
in
down.
question.
Put us on the other side, Nick. Put us on the other.
The
Is
top in question is no. Go
It, is
down.
it the one where you're at the table there?
No,
Scroll down.
it is
This one with
no
the-
at the wall with the cup of coffee, the white strip, the black shirt, the one where I'm wearing like a
Up.
cardigan over
Top
it.
left corner.
That one. That was the exact top.
Okay.
Yeah.
I kind of agree with him.
That you wouldn't.
What? No.
You think that's not modest?
I don't think.
You think that I post
well,
that
first of all,
craving
no.
male
I would say that
validation?
no, that's immodest. But even if I were to concede that it was modest,
Okay.
after looking at your social media, if you're going to tell me that you're not putting those pictures up because you want validation from men,
No.
I'm very skeptical. And so maybe I'm wrong, and that's all for women. You just want to show women the transformation you're about. Maybe that's true. Okay, I'm not in your head. I can't
Yeah,
tell,
That's fair.
but I can definitely understand why a guy would be skeptical of that.
I think that's fair, but I think it's a conversation to be had instead of just it being a blanket statement. We're assuming that I'm a slut. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I mean, what would the conversation be? It would be you saying, no, this is for the validation of a bunch of women. I want a bunch of women to look at me and validate me,
Not
right?
in
And
that
so,
way. It's in
and
the-
so
it's-
he's gonna be like, look, I just don't believe that, and there's no it's not falsifiable. In other words, he
You're-
can't be like, that's not true, because he can't read your thoughts.
You're telling me, though, if you say right now, lost a shit ton of weight, got a six-pack, best shape of your life, that you wouldn't want to show that off?
I would not. No. In fact, I'd go out of my way
You wouldn't be
not
proud
to.
of it if it's something that you worked for?
I might be proud of it, but there's a difference between that and trying to put myself in a situation where I was being sexually provocative towards the opposite sex.
Can I ask you that question as someone that does fitness?
Yeah, I was thinking. So honestly, I don't agree because I've seen so many men that have had huge body transformations and then they take their shirt off finally because they never felt
Yeah.
comfortable doing that in the first place. And they like how they look. They're proud of the results that they've got.
Yeah.
And then it's same with women. A lot of women, they lose a lot of weight and then they,
Look, I also know ortho bros, okay, one of which, his name is David Patrick Harry, Church of the Eternal Logos. And this guy is fucking shredded. And he does not post sexually provocative pictures of himself, even though he's in, and he definitely had a body transformation. He just doesn't do that. And the reason he doesn't do that is because he knows that that's going to lead towards validation from the opposite sex, which he doesn't want.
But I don't.
So what's provocative?
If they choose to validate it, they like to see it. Good for them. That's
Well,
not why I post it.
I get that. I totally understand. And I even believe you.
Yeah.
I'm trying to put myself in the shoes of the onlooker.
Yeah.
So from the outsider's perspective looking at it, there's no reason for me to conclude that any man who was viewing that wouldn't think that you were trying to get the validation in a two-piece bathing suit.
None of the bathing suit posts were up at the time.
Okay,
but sure.
I got it. But there's no reason that I would assume that any random man viewing that wouldn't think you were looking for sexual validation from men. There's no reason for me to think that.
I think I see what you're saying, but I think that's also like if you want to get to know me and separate that from my story and why I post that kind of stuff because I'm proud of it.
But what about this idea of red flags? The whole idea of the red flag is that just based on XXX behavior, whether you try to justify it, for instance, she goes up on the house on Haunted Hill where this guy's gonna fucking serial axe murder her, right? She's like, if this fucking door closes, I am doomed. My life is gone. This guy's gonna hack me up. He's gonna put me in little pieces and put me in his freezer, right? That's what she's thinking in her head. Am I wrong?
Oh, no.
Massive red flag, right? Did he even do anything wrong, though? Not really. He didn't actually do anything wrong, but he gave like a feeling, a red flag vibe.
But
now
then
the daddy thing, that was
But when
that
they
was crazy,
discussed
but-
it, it was fine. That's why I'm like,
No. It really wasn't fine.
I didn't
When they
really
discussed
find
it,
that-
she said he was like, but I'm a good person. You can talk to my besties.
Well,
They
I
say
think-
I'm the greatest.
I think
They
that's
say
the
I'm
bigger-
phenomenal.
I
They
think-
say I'm fantastic. And she wasn't buying none of that shit.
Well, because
she
I-
was like, nope, I don't fucking believe a word that you're saying. And so she's thinking from an outsider's look in, same thing, right? They're probably going to think, big red fucking flag.
I see how it's
You see what I
contradictory.
mean?
I'm not disagreeing with
Well,
you.
it's not
I just think-
contradictory. I'm just saying that you haven't contradicted yourself. I
Yeah.
totally believe you. You don't post any of those pics for the purpose of male validation.
I really don't.
100% believe you. But if we can flip the coin for a second.
I could see the perspective, and I don't think that it was inherently wrong. I think the way that it was presented was wrong, where he was saying, like, so you don't just post pictures of your boobs for like validation in men, like that's all you want from it, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then him assuming from that I've slept with a bunch of people and all that stuff, and deciding not to believe me when I told him no.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
But I don't think there's actually anything wrong with men looking at certain cues that tend to be associated with female promiscuity and just jumping to those conclusions. Like if a woman is blasted in tattoos, sternum tattoos, dresses a certain way, I'm going to assume, for example, she's not a virgin. We actually had a woman on the show like 2 weeks ago. Andrew, you were there. This 3 girls claimed to be virgins. I don't know what the truth was. One of them on her Instagram like had a sternum tattoo and like a full thing on her side. I'm like, could a virgin be blasted in tattoos like that? I suppose you don't need to have sex in order to get tattoos, but I'm just gonna jump to conclusions anyways as a guy and be like,
yeah, it's the red.
since
it's the
when?
red flag.
Since when does a woman
Right.
with a sternum tattoo, like, how are
So
you
you
a
think-
virgin?
You think because I post that it alludes to that I'm not a virgin?
No.
Or-
And he wasn't even conflating.
It was
the
about
two.
the stern.
Yeah, he's just
okay.
saying. He's saying from
Sorry, I
my
was lost.
perspective,
Has a sternum
this
tattoo.
entire tattoo thing would be a massive red flag that would cause me to disbelieve your motivations
Okay.
or
I see what
disbelieve
you're
the things that
saying.
you're saying. And so in the same case here with this guy that you're dating, he's thinking the same thing, right? Sure, oh, yeah, sure. That was for girls because you wanted to show your body valid. You know what I mean? From his perspective, of course, he's not going to think that because every other woman who's posting similar pics like this and we're pattern
I would
recognition
agree.
machines, right?
Yeah.
And most of them are out humping everything with a penis. So they're like, I'm not
Yeah.
sure, right?
I could see how it was presented that way. I think it was more the way that he said it is what I took offense to, and the not believing me after conversation was like one of the many red flags that happened all on that same date.
Gave you the ick.
He gave me the ick several
Gave you the
times.
ick.
He was also just a very not insecure because of the potential slut shaming, but insecure in the fact that he was actually just a very insecure
Can you look
man.
right at the camera and say, he gave me the ick?
Which camera do I look at?
That one.
That one?
Which one?
Which one do I look at?
Look at this one. This one. There
Center?
You go.
Nope, this one.
Ready? We're good?
There you go. 1, 2, 3.
He gave me the ick, the major ick.
Major ick.
I do have to move things on.